Hello, folks. Welcome back. We got more VoD review, not just for LTA North, but Americas as a whole. It's split one. It's playoffs. We got FlyQuest versus Leviathan coming up. Anyway, shout out to everyone tuning in. I stream these live on twitch.tv/CubbyXX, but you're probably watching this on YouTube, especially after the changes to Twitch highlights. Anyway, follow me everywhere at CubbyXX. Likes, comments, and subs help a lot. Excited to dive into these VoDs, so let's get going. All right. LEV versus Fly. Game 1 draft. What do we have here? We have Mel making an appearance. Ambessa, Malachi Ezra. Ambessa first picked with no other top laners being banned. I actually don't mind the FlyQuest ended up dropping top. Obviously, Blippo's got some picks. Like, he could take the Cassante into it, but doesn't want it. So they want to prioritize something else. Ambessa first picked. The Varus Sejuani core picked up next. Varus obviously really strong, really flexible. And Ashe is off the board. And Kallista's off the board. So for me, Varus definitely goes up in prio. Ends up being the Malachi, the Sejuani handshake, and then Ezreal. So outranging Varus. Game plan that's showing it early on for LEV. And then it is the Mel. Mel into Malachi is... I believe you only send back the route that hits you. But maybe chat could help me. And then, let's see. Victor, Bard, taking away one bad matchup. 2 counters taken away from Ambessa. Poppy, of course, being able to be played at support too. They want Rel, that's fine. Poppy's to prep the Rel pick. I think Poppy's a really sound ban. Like, no Cassante. Jace would have been an option here, but Jace could be saved for potentially a different game. Will be the Bear or Blippo. Let's say Bear's not terrible here. You at least get 2 melees that you get to play off of. No, doesn't look super insane. I think after the hotfix, she's down a peg, but I still think she's really, really strong early. That Q's a problem. Q's a problem. We can make plays on Mel. Also, you can send Talia back. Talia wall back with Mel W. We actually shot something. Fun fact. I was on a part of the dev capture team that helped with Mel. So, like, we captured some of the gameplay that we ended up sending to influencers. I was asked by... I just went in, like, as a contractor for the day. And Mel W can send back Talia wall. We actually clipped that. I don't know if that was a part of what people got, but we did... It took some time to coordinate that one. I actually think Bear is okay this game. Rel to break some shields and for hard engage. Some decent synergy here. I just don't know if we have enough damage to actually get through the Bear. And that's why I don't love the Talia. I would have preferred Ori this game. I think Ori for me is my default pick against Mel. And then Rakan. So opting into a little bit of a counter, but being able to commit to playing to the top side. Or a self-counter. And you still have like 2 people to piggyback off of. I think it's a fine game for Rakan. Alright. They have Ezreal. Again, looking at the top side. We'll say with this team, Cody and Seo being on the same roster is actually kind of exciting. These guys have both repped their regions internationally before. And do want to shout out Zothve. When we had Champsky in NA, he always grinded really hard. So I do respect that. He's always tried to grind and play like really hard. So shout out to Zothve for that. All right. Talked about this in the last VOD. When we do have lane swaps, I really hate what the LTA South teams were mostly doing here, which was they would split XP mid with both solo laners. When this happened for NA, it would be mid plus support. I think that that's a better setup as a whole. Support can respond to either side and is okay with sacking XP. Also, something that I think that FlyQuest has been really good about, like especially with TL, I do think that these teams are really committed to, even in lane swap meta and in the scenarios, we're still going to pick top laners that can actually deal with a swap early. I think the best example of this is Impact's a great Gnar player, right? We haven't seen him play Gnar because Gnar is not a good champion level 1, 2. You need 3 levels. Renekton has been deprioritized because you need 3 levels as Renekton to be effective. I think that's why we've seen a lot less of these champions this split, even though they're still decent, still exist. So I appreciate how FlyQuest are still taking top lane champions that can play in the lane swap scenarios and actually pick up the melee creeps level 1. Because that is really, really important when it comes to lane swap meta at the moment. I do not like how we're just opting to handshake sharing XP between solo laners. I think that we need to play for as much XP as possible early on. Ooh, Masu with the Hail Blade. So does the poke set up this game? Big emphasis on poke. FlyQuest, their comp is definitely on a timer between the Mel, Poke Varus, and the Volibear. It was important to watch. I don't think FlyQuest bot lane can get Dove. They're too close to 2. Inspired is going to get the news, though, that his top side's gone. So he's going to actually dip below. Look for a play on the Talia that's hovering the top side. Ooh, that's close. So Inspired a little bit behind on the clear. Should be okay, though. Udyr good at lane swap? It's playable. LPL's been playing it a lot, actually. I just don't think that you're as strong early after some of the Udyr changes. Whippo dirty farming with jungle on his side. Let's go. Inspired is somehow up camp. Oh, wait. No, never mind. Okay, never mind. Somehow ahead of Maokai, though. He also got his respawn Raptors, a big deal. Just given like where the map was at and the fact that Cody was able to TP back. I'm actually a little bit surprised we didn't have any respawn Raptors contest. They're up now. Good ward from Quad to spot this, so they're talking about contesting a respawn Raptors, but Maokai can bully this. Sejuani would be coming out of base, but I think that... Oh, there's no smite. If Scary had a smite up, I do think he should have went for that objective. I think that with a lot of teams opting the group for all these objectives, Udyr definitely went down in prio. You just need more time as Udyr to get going, I think, in the 5v5s. And... there's a lot of comps. Like, if you're not against a heavy melee comp, you're just not nearly as useful. I think the point and click stun is like a little bit too valuable. All right, well, they got Ambessa Flash. That's good. So this leads to free Drake. Top lane still being pushed under turret quite a bit. Ezreal outranges the Varus. And Rakan just kind of there to help sustain. Hard to W Ezreal or Rel. Like, if you W in, you have to respond. You can't do it proactively. If you do it proactively, then you can really get cooked. Do like how Busio is trying to play with vision. Like by sticking in the brush. Was behind minions there, so Ezreal couldn't follow up. And it's Drake for Grub trade. Good trade for Blippo. It's going to be the tank bear setup, so it's ends up being a Fimbulwinter. Unending Despair is in there, and then we'll see what else Blippo ends up going for. You can Cosmic Drive. I know Umti did that in his AP bear game. Oh, that's really bad. Oh, that's really bad. Okay, this is all bad. And this is just the 6 timer. We'll say Masu's a little bit ahead in XP compared to this. Would have had to have happened on the reset, I guess. I guess they were able to get push in here, so Seo might have burned too much mana early on, couldn't contest later on. And they got the wave in, so Varus ends up getting more. Doesn't touch the wave when they get back. So yeah, Varus up XP. Good. The wave bounced, and that's enough for the 6-timer. It's the small things, guys. Inspired played the other side of the map. They kept things quiet up top. They had a small advantage. They end up cashing it in here. Also, like after first base, the Varus gets better than the Ezreal. I think pre-first base in this lane, the Ezreal Rel, you have edge. Rakan can't really proactively W in. You are able to sustain, but Ezreal's really strong. Before first base, just the Q, the attack speed buff you get from your passive, it makes you really strong. Varus does need levels to be really effective as poke Varus. Yeah, and then they just played for 6 and went, and this is not respected by Pro Delta at all. So lost track of like where 6 would be. Leads to a freebie. And then the Maokai ult is pretty egregiously terrible. This Maokai ult is really terrible. I have nothing good to say about the Maokai ult. That's bad. Okay, that was not good. Talia response for nothing, so you end up just getting a small advantage on Mel, which can be cashed in. Why did Rel go bot? I guess you can't go mid, but like, why show? There's no reason to show there. If he went bot for wards and vision, I think it's good. The fact that he showed makes it like actually egregiously terrible. It gives like Busio got this ward in because the Rel showed, and that ward's nice. Mel can 1v2 because the Q is really fun. And Talia shouldn't be able to make plays on Varus. We'll say that Mel, as a champion, really easy to pick up CS just with the passive. I think that this is like... I think Mel... I have issues with Mel as a champion, but... that's another story. I do think that this champion's like very beginner friendly. Just how the R and the Q works, there's not a lot to this champ. It's just when you press W. Do you like Buppo using this counter pick? I mean, obviously he knows this matchup. Voldabear is really strong early. And compared to, I mean, Renekton's a common comparison because like it's a matchup that we saw. So I'll just compare it to Renekton, right? The builds are different, but like at least like how you act early. I think your power window is more aggressive early as the bear compared to the Croc. Croc actually, like, I mean, when that was a 1v1 matchup, Croc actually outscaled the bear, which is kind of funny. I just think that you interact better in the lane swap scenario as the bear. You're arguably harder to dive. Inarguably harder to dive. And your level 1's much better. I'm trying to think of like other reasons why they tank this. You are just a raw tank. I just think we're a little bit low damage here as FlyQuest. For passive work on drags and grubs, I don't know if it counts towards her R or not. That's a good question, actually. Because that's a big one. I'd have to read. In terms of this... yeah, it's Torch. Oh, it's Iceborne. Okay. Yeah. So Iceborne, Fimble, on ending the spare likely in there. A lot of slows in the FlyQuest comp to help like make sure Mel and Varus are getting their damage down. This I really just don't like the lane assignment that we went for here as Lev, because the Talia into the Varus is getting able to get solo XP. Talia can't pressure. There's an R, but FlyQuest have wards in the top side of the map for the Varus. And if you get the poke Varus accelerated in any which way, shape, or form, items are cheap. Levels are important to make sure that you're ability based, right? So you're getting more points in your abilities. That's great. And like, the Mel can 1v2. And Pro Delta has like done absolutely nothing in the last few minutes. I think that the goal should have been to like try and fight or skirmish over the top side. To still play for the grubs. I don't know why they put the Ezreal mid. That, like, Talia can only go one way, and you can't really attack the bear. That's another reason I actually really like the bear. I think that how you interact with Talia this game is quite good as Volibear compared to, again, like, I don't want to keep on making Renekton comparisons, but yeah. I'm just trying to think of, like, reasons why it was the bear this game. I think something I will give Bwipo credit for is he has, his picks are unique, but I think he also has a really good understanding of when to use his picks. Volibear has some pretty positive interactions this game. It really just cannot be killed by the comp he's going up against. So you win your lane hard. Talia can't gank you. And then later on, the Ezreal Talia can't kill you. I wish there was a little bit more damage behind him. But I think it's a good game for Bear. And that's what I like about Bwipo. A lot of times we'll sit here and just be like, okay, why this pick this game? And at least be able to figure out like some pretty solid reasons for it. I really don't like. Like, why do we have this lane assignment? Why are we sending in best to top? I think that you swap the lanes here. I mean, I was just saying that the Talia and Varus is bad. I do think that's bad. I think that I'm just coming to the conclusion that I just absolutely hate this draft from the Leviathan. Or the Viaton or whatever. Like, what can we do in this draft? Also, why is Maokai going Leandries? I was sitting here being like, I like the fact we're seeing this on Maokai. I don't think this is the game for it. At all. Now, you have to absorb in the front line. And, like, buy time, buy space for Talia and Ezreal spam. And your damage is going to help kill the bear. Or the Sejuani at all. Oh, good try. Quad should have joined with Busio. Good stall from Busio. Really, 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 really well played by Busio, man. Busio, I think Busio's Rakan has always been really, really, really good. One of the like day one from 100 Thieves always played this really well. Busio played this very well. If anything, Quad could have held his E longer, and they could have gotten more out of the CC stack. Oh, I guess not again. Yeah. Well played. Good TP out, too, from Zaltve. But, like, still... Mid got in, Quad can respond, they just lose a wave, and Volibear is making waves go bye-bye bot. And Bessa in this scenario get further behind. I mean, again, I think the lane assignment, like, just really really fucked them. They almost have to make a play on this side of the map, but the Ambessa being this far behind against the bear, Ambessa as a champion, like we talked about, again, like trying to make comparisons to understand, somewhat the Olaf comparison, this champion scales off of the resources that it has. Any time, any point of the game where you aren't getting resources on this champion, it's like extra bad for you. And this play like really, really, really hurt the resources that Ambessa was able to pick up. Like, Volibear is completely shutting you down as a champion. And it's not getting... Like, you're not doing anything to make it better for you. You're down a level to the bear. It's even in levels, but like, look at the purple bar, right? I don't think that we did a good job of playing towards any win cons here. As LEV. I don't know what the goal of the game was. I mean, if anything, I feel like Mel was the most attackable. And they put the Ezreal mid to just, like, blanket shove mid, let the Mel push, and then Varus just got up by being able to pick up solo stuff. Any of Polestar versus Team Doublelift? No, I was out today, Chris. I heard that the Polestar guys did pretty good, though. I gotta say, that team's not a favorite that I have to promote right now, which would be pretty sad. I really hope they promote, but it's not good. Doesn't Ambessa outscale the bear? Outside lane? Yeah, but again, you scale off of how many resources that you get. Which team? Yeah, Team Doublelift. We talked to... I had the sheet earlier from Sneezes, and the favorites right now are probably... The... Respawn's not my favorite, but they're, like... I actually know they're one of them. Then it's the Hoarder team. And then the Bradley Kenby Meech team. The way they've been playing, no. I think those three teams can beat them. For me, Bio's not in good form right now, and they're like jungle's deep, so it's not like Speak is going to be 1v9ing the games. And Tempest make it through. I think the Respawn team has a decent shot. I actually think Manui will make a really good support. I really do. I don't know what form he's in right now, but I feel like that's a good role for him. Anyway. Just liked watching the three teenagers take down the combined 12 titles. I mean, you got the... As you know, you got the best three teams you can have right now. We were very pro Cryro, Toasty, and Cryo on this stream. True. We'll see. They should, but I think like it's not like there are dumb... Like, there are some smart teams in there. Wants to play for the Bears? Sweet. Dude, Ida just keeps on sending me Bears news. It's great. Myles Garrett and Nick Chubb. Well, I mean, I'll take the pieces of the Browns that are actually good. Give me Denzel Ward, too. That's probably the player I want the most, frankly. That guy's so good. I'm ready to be hurt, too. I'm just curious, like, how much... I think the FlyQuest has an appropriate lead right now for, like, what their comp needs. I'm just curious how much Melk damage kind of carries as we move forward here. This champ does fall off a little bit later on. So, again, FlyQuest, like, I think they're in good shape, but they are on a clock this game. So, they should get Jokic for top lane. What Silas was supposed to be. She's situationally strong. Yeah, I think I still just have a real issue with... once they nerfed the Q missile speed, I think that was like the biggest issue. I just don't like how... I think the champ is not my favorite type of dumbed down champ. I really like Smolder as like a approachable dumbed down champ. I thought Smolder was a really good release for the game. I know that his release was too strong, but I think that Smolder is really healthy for the game. The W being a normal ability for me is still just like a little bit too much. Silas's kit for sure is overloaded. And I agree with you, and like that was what Silas is supposed to be. He still is that, but like his kit's too good. You can just pick him in too many scenarios. Really like this from Quad. The step up and fire root back. 3 last sitting supposed to be for noobs? Yes. We talked about that one earlier. Mel should always have the most CS of the game. Mel should be up there. I despise how the R works. And I do like how quad built, like, how quad is built scales off of, with the torch and the R. Both those items complement each other and how they want to work, so I think this makes a lot of sense. Your Q's are really low cooldown too, so it's spammable, easy to apply. Yeah, and quad's been really, really solid. Quad has been really, really, really solid this year. Been nice to see. Q-name mid laners got a buff this season. I mean, if you're going to Fearless draft the alphabet, you know, Q's probably not your first pick, huh? Just buffed and Fearless? Uh-huh. Yeah. Top series versus 100 Thieves? I did not feel that way in watching tape against Pain. We very much favor you guys coming in, but I did say in Hotline League that I thought that C9 probably has the highest odds to make finals, which I think I still want to agree with. FBI is playing really good. FBI has been a really, really good form, and A was still playing much better this season, so that's good. I think FBI has been really, really, really good. I know Quid's the pop-off player that everyone's been talking about, but it's been really good to see FBI play the way he has. Yeah. I know. I mean, in my ballot, you know, I had him in my all-pro for spring, and he didn't get it. I thought that was a crime last year. I thought he still played pretty well last year against on NRG, but obviously it's sometimes tough to be a AD and a team not performing. Been good to see him play well. A little bit too easy, no? Yeah, what we talked about in this comp, right? The Bear is really valuable, and we thought the picks that Lev had, they still have the damage to get through the front line. Ezreal Talia against this front line takes too much time to get going. I feel like he's really raised the floor of that team, though. That's why I thought that he was a great fit. Like, for me, he was the best fit that we, best pickup of the offseason still. Oh, Quad didn't send a wall back. We were talking about that. I was on the game capture team, Chris. I got to, like, play him out early, and we had a clip where we sent Talia wall back. Because he's trying to do that here. Yeah. Their regular seasons have like already been much better. I think that I rank them higher in the power rankings just off of having FBI for sure. I just cannot move the front line of FlyQuest here. I still think that this is a power window where we're really strong as Fly. And this engage is pretty easy. That's not too much to talk about here. Ambessa's late. And Ambessa doesn't get R off before she gets chain CC'd. Well played by Busio here. Busio and Quad sunk up really well in just stalling the Ambessa, and I like how Blippo follows. Well played by FlyQuest. Again, just with the draft, it didn't feel like there was a lot that... Okay, there's the R from Mel. I did not like this draft. I did not feel like there was a win con for this game. Not one that involves, like, you know, getting the game really late. Chase people down, bear slap them. I mean, the bear is really good this game. You can shut down Ambessa. You interact really well with Talia. Ezreal can't kill you. Interact really well with Maokai. Rel's the only thing that, like, kind of hurts you, but it doesn't matter. There's not enough damage to actually punish you. Because the shield break's obviously really valuable against the bear, right? But this happened off cam, but good angle. Again, I think it's the best part about Whippo's game is If you try and do anything greedy on the map and Blippo has a TP up, he's really, really, really good about punishing you. Consistently just so solid in finding the angles. So, good setup by FlyQuest. How games, Cubby? Apparently not as good as your games today, Cryogen. I missed yours. I had my last bit of moving tech to take care of today. And then we're doing these games, then doing taxes. That's our day. Need to be permabanned for 2 of the games I played, low key. Well, I feel like you say that after every scrim set, which at least means you're getting better, you know? We're recognizing the mistakes. That's always good. Broke the LCS death record game 1. Let's go. That's good. That's good. I will say, from what I've seen so far, it feels like Bio's just not in the playing form I'm used to seeing from him. So I feel like it's where you I'm looking for supports that can punish that team in OQs. I hope that Double Lift gets in the shape though. Again, it's really good if those guys hit on an ACL. So better than most OQ teams. Okay, that's good. They didn't feel that way against the like the first few series I've seen them. So I hope they keep scaling. Again, I want them to be in the league. Nice foot from Talia, but again, just not enough damage. Frontline gets mauled. Bwipo's really far ahead. I still think the dive top on the Ambessa, or like that Ambessa pull was big, because Bwipo just got so much from that and got out of control this game. My supports that I like are Cryogen and Mixture. And then I actually think, I'm excited to see Manui swap. I think Manui has a good mind for the game, so. Kind of like when I thought Prismo would make a good support when he swapped. I feel like Prismo had a higher ceiling, but because Prismo liked to grief, but also made some insane plays, so, you know. We like hearing that people are grinders, for sure. Good take by FlyQuest again. This game's kind of over, guys. We might skip through this one. Keep things moving. Stream's going to be a little bit late today. Was not 30. I think the other supports that were meh. Oh, actually, I like Quokka still. He's playing collegiate. I don't see him in an OQ team. I'm kind of bummed about that. I had to work with Quokka. I like Quokka a lot. He plays Engage and is young and goes hard and was a trainee. I think it was HOE. We like Minsu. I mean, lol. We have unending despair. Yeah, and Visage. Let's go. He needs a visa? Yes, he does. But he's good. He's a good player. Oh my god. Yeah, that's where this bear is a little bit different than bears of past. Unbearable, for sure. You're good, Cryo, man. Keep up the good work. Excited to see you in NICL. Someone needs to bite the visa for Yuxin. Yeah. That guy's too talented to, like, not roll the dice on, for sure. Yeah, excited to see you. This looks bad. I actually respect this play. I think that we need to make something happen here for LEV. So, I know it doesn't look great from Zothvi, and it's a nice counter engage coming out from, oh, Busio's an oopsie. I just missed, Seo. Good try from Quad. I respect the play from Zothve. You need to make something happen at this point of the game, so make something happen. Because the CQ, who's really young, yeah. At least he grinded, you know? No, he was just short of Seo. I think he's still at ult. Yeah, we did see him get rolled by a lot of players in CQ. Mel moment. Oh, this game's over. Good draft from FlyQuest. Blippo does have his flavor picks. I think he has a good understanding when the flavor picks are good. I do like the Volibear a lot in this game. The damage was fine. I still think that there are games where this is a low damage comp, but given how Malachi built, and the lack of DPS from Lev, it didn't matter this game. Like, Volibear is actually invincible. So, good bear. Good bear game. Game 2. Ash Braum Nid. I will say Ash Braum plus Nid. I would not pair Braum and Nid. This is, like, for me, a legal comparison. I think that if you're going to play Nidalee, like, we need this champ or this champ. Scrims in the South right now? Probably because they're getting less practice, and solo queue's not as good there. Like, I don't know if the teams are still scrimming or not over there. Anyway, Ash picked Corki Cassante Core picked up. I think it just has to be a first pick Cassante angle. I don't know. I'm very pro first pick Cassante, especially if Jace and Mbessa are off the board. I think the Cassante champ's the problem. Ash Braum is a good core, but with Nid, I don't like this pairing. And this is much better. This punishes Ash Braum really hard, actually. As long as you don't get picked. And there's no pick. Like, if I'm playing against Lilia, like, that's when the Leona, not the Rel, like, we need to pick this champion. If this champion's allowed to function at all in a team fight, it's bad. Yeah, Narazir Nidalee is also terrible. There's literally no setup for the Nidalee to go anywhere. Attack speed steroid on, Azir. We end up getting Corki Azir. Pike's picks, we hold Corki Flex till the end, and then we just end up going with Jhin. I like the Jhin this game. I feel like the utility for the... Like, we don't need more damage. Just take the utility. And if you're able to keep Azir, Ashe at bay, which is Jin's very advantageous for that scenario, it's good. So, yeah. Okay. Good Yone ban. And honestly, good Poppy ban, too. I think that Poppy actually would have... Who's Poppy, like, you can fight for numbers advantages and, like, kind of frontline? I can't imagine picking Nidalee with no engage. X-Tech, Flash, Pike angle. I do think the Pike's good this game. Like, what's going to lock you down? Blupo's trying to hide from the swap ward. That's nice. He didn't see it, but he's just guessing it's there. And it ends up being a lane swap. I mean, I'm going to assume that with Pike, you want a 2v2, right? But again, we're opting to swap with Gnar. This is one of the few scenarios where I think that Gnar needs to soak XP mid, and I'd actually advocate for. And we're late to do this. So again, I don't know what Lev's doing. Like, from minute 1, we're fucking up how our comp should be played. For me, Gnar leeching level 2 in this scenario off mid is completely warranted. And we do not do that for first wave. And it gets deleted. Bwipo was able to get some. And no one's farming bot. Don't care if Bwipo dies or gets dove here. It does not matter to me. Take the XP. Actually, really well played. This E from Bwipo is really, really good. I also... Why are we not starting this dive with a Braum auto attack on Cassante? That's how this dive needs to start. Scary should continue to hold this wave, and we auto attack the Cassante and go from there. Somehow the dive looks okay. I don't think that was played well. And yes, Bwipo TPing back here is perfectly fine. Is the top wave frozen? Oh my god, it is. Oh, good freeze by Masu. And nice interrupt on the base from Busio. And this game's already, like, really bad for Love. Nice. Good play by Busio. I mean, a Zero Flash. Nice. Doesn't lead to kills, but you get a Zero Flash. It's really valuable. It's going to change mid matchup. And yeah, it's 4-2 topside because... Oh, dear lord. I know the broadcast like kind of ended up memeing the Pyke, but we already feel some of the Pyke power early, which is good. That's good. Greedy base, though. You have access to the game replays? I do not. That's okay. For me, it's not that big of a difference. I think that having access to those would be kind of interesting, but... Okay. Guys, how scary is the Braum Nidalee combo, though? Like, how terrifying is this? If Pro Delta W'd here, by the way, and autoed Masu, I think it's much better. No, they're not going to change the rules this year. They would be massacred if they changed the rules this year. Quad TP'd back second, so TP was pretty much lined up with Grubs, so it's a 1 for 2. They have a much more... They have a much... Especially if you go like in the tier 2 with EU, it's a much better scenario over there. Ooh. I think the W here from Masu, it's a good flash from Pro Delta to catch it. Do you think that we could have played this one better as FlyQuest? I think Busio needs to flash here. If they stun Seo, like it would have got maybe get the cleanse out earlier. It would have forced the cleanse for sure, but maybe there's a world where we get cleanse plus flash because he has to get off of Jin Trap. That's probably the right call. I mean, nice 2v2 from LEV. Part of why NA 3 seed only did stuff, though, was the old Worlds format. Because, like, if you were NA 3 seed, then you had the Thanos, LPL, or LCK team in your group that would, like, 5-1 or 6-0. Whereas, like, NA or EU 1 seed, you know, they're not going 5-0. Oh, dear Lord Almighty. Well played. But Jesus. Nidalee Nar is very scary. I will say that, like, after going over the tape again, I think that 100 Thieves looked not as good in their win, and FlyQuest looked better, but I think that FlyQuest, like, had pretty significant draft edge. I like, this comp for me is just unwinnable. Unless you were just 50 times better than your opponent, which is just not going to happen in this scenario. Yes, Pain was for sure better. Also, I think I don't think Pro Delta. I think Pro Delta might have been playing Might have been a 4v6 this series, I'm to be honest. I think Fly was pretty decisive. I don't think they had to do much in these games. And the decisions they did make were fine. I think that's part of the new season, though, with Baron spawning at 25. And also, they didn't have a ton of damage game one themselves. So you kind of have to take your time and poke. It's not like you have a Kaisa autoing down turrets or some shit, you know? We'll see. Again, I think FBI is just... I think he's so good for that team. Yeah, I know hard CC for Lilia. Which, again, was like first 3'd in this draft, but... There's a chance that Cody stays in this brush. He has a control ward. He might have won. Oh, I guess... No, never mind. The Q's vision. Q's vision. Okay, never mind. Seo's ult wasn't great. I mean, I understand fishing for quad, but we're just throwing it because like there are 3 there. If he waits on that, it doesn't catch Busio. I think that it could have been better. Good flash from quad. Yeah, so I think Zoffe, like going in there as he did is fine, but you got to get inspired. Again, like for me, you have to. If you don't get Lilia in this comp, then Lilia does what she does in this fight, which is just gross. So for me, focus isn't good for LEV. It's not as long as Baron spawns at 25, it's not going to go down. Especially with Otacon, they're going to balance Otacon to get the other version to spawn more, which I actually... The other version is really OP too. It is. But it's not the GA, right? It's just that if you have like 2-3 Drakes and you get that Otacon, it's going to feel really nice. Like your soul might be game ending, you know? I'm just really excited to see the game where we get a team that gets like 4 Infernal Dragons and the new Otacon buff. Or the other Otacon buff. And just see, like, I just want to see that one with the Jhin for science sake, you know? Yeah, Herald's really good right now. I see Psycho is Thin Uncle Phil pilled. It's so funny, like, with Adi saying this, because I just think that they're fucking up lane swaps from, like, level 1, right? Again, like, if you're committing to playing out the 3 lanes and not just, like, split mapping and handshaking, I think that's such a wrong way to approach lane swaps. And it's a big part of the reason why the NA teams, I really feel like, did well with Worlds. And again, like, the macro game is not as good in this region, but again, like, that's not about macro for me. Like, we're fucking up a decision before the game starts, right? I think there's a lot of NCs to lane swaps, but again, if we're signing up to split XP between our 2 solo laners, I think that we're signing up to lose. You're playing the game at a disadvantage for me from minute 1. Does he just want to save R? Because if he Rs, then they both get the gold. It's got to be he just wants to save R. Alright, so that's why we mean the pike. And this series was so boring, you might as well just do that anyway. Why doesn't Cody just R? I mean, I understand, like, not R'ing now, but after the Alt W? Why isn't just... Oh, I bet he's out of mana. It's got to be a mana thing. It's got to be a mana thing. Because, like, if he R'd him... Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to say it's a mana thing and go from there. Waiting out the flash. Okay, that could be too, yeah. That's actually much more logical. Good sidestep by Seo. Seo's decent. I think that in this region, like, the ADs are probably the strongest role. Improve from these scrims. I don't think it's... I mostly agree with the tweet that Dom had about it, where it's too spread out. I'm just, like, going to compare it to something I talked about, like, some of the Oceanic players back in their region, like, way back when. Don't need much macro to be an AD carry. I mean, I think that some of their ADs, like, have legitimately good hands. Again, like, Teton's a good player. Seo's good. These guys have actually had some success at World... Brunsei is good, you know? Yeah, Teton's good. So, yeah. All right, the saturation of the game changes. What was I talking about though before? Oh, the scrims. When I talked to Oceanic teams, like way back when, they would boot camp in Korea before every split, right? And they would take the learnings from Korea back to their region and, like, progressively just get worse because they don't have that same practice, right? I think that just it's too far spaced out for this to matter a ton for the teams, and I don't think they're going to learn anything, like, out of this world. I mean, I can tell you without screaming that this comp from LEV is shit. LEC, I think, is going to be more competitive this year. Strictly off of getting JoJo, the NA player. So because they have the NA player, then they're straight up better. That's kind of like what Yanya thinks when more Koreans come in, you know? I mean, if Bwipo hit the Braum and R's him out, then he's fine, but he missed the W. So, bummer. I think the biggest issue for me is... Yeah, I mean, Bwipo just missed. Okay. I think that Bwipo can do this if he ults the Braum out, and then they just take the one. And honestly, getting Braum out of here is pretty good because everyone else, like, is incredibly vulnerable to what FlyQuest has. Like, what's gonna stop all of FlyQuest then if you get W sweep off, you know? Quad worse. Nice. All right, good one, Yanya. The commitment to lethality of this game, I actually did like from Masu. Because again, like outside of Braum, just all squishies. The comps that the LTA South have been drafting these first two games have been so fucking squishy. Like first two series. I really, I don't know what was going on. Like tanks are so OP at the moment, and we're just allergic to picking any of them. Yeah, I mean, Jin's not an option if like they pick. I mean, I think this game, like even if they threw down like an Ornn or something, then Jin might be an option. You just go different build, but yeah. Because I think Collector IE is still pretty strong. It's a pretty good build. I'm fine doing that, but I like the build from Masu this game. Oh yeah, we can talk about the TL Game 3 draft. That was also disgusting. Dude, you know what we should do? We should send Team Double Lift to the LTA South and just have him scrim and just level up everyone for the year, and then we'll see if they can beat LTA North by the end. You know, then they can take a vacation, go to Brazil. You know, this game is not very interesting to me. I think the FlyQuests have just outscaled at this point. Like again, what stops Lilia, who is level 15, highest level in the game? Cody has to base. That guy just got pooped on. Ooh, good try. Blupo up. I mean, I know Tatsu asked for coaching. I like Tatsu a lot. He wasn't in this tournament, but it's his first split, and he was really good in the Americas tournament. I talked to Thinkar before he left, because he didn't have a jungler at the time. I was really excited that he ended up going with Tatsu. I think that guy actually like has game. Damn. Quad kind of crapped on him. Yeah, that was nice. Good escape too by Blippo. Ooh. I might have been able to wait there. Oh, but they're just stalling. Okay, I like this actually. I think Inspired should have probably held R. I don't know if he realized that Braum E like stopped the splash. Because I think it makes this better, but I think the FlyQuest is also making the right play and trying to corral them. Like this should be again a pretty unwinnable scenario for Lev. I think if we hold R as Lilia, then this just gets better. Monsters R was warranted because he got Blippo out. Zinni after the year. Nah, man. We're about that Peng Yun life. That guy's hyphy as shit. I actually hope he doesn't leave Korea though. I think that guy's got game. What's up, Trespass Whore? Well played. I mean, nice Baron just doesn't matter. Why is this not on? Brother. Nice ult from Blippo. Really well played by Blippo. I mean, I do think that one of the things how Out can improve when they only scrim split 1 and 3 over a short period of time. I mean, they can improve by improving. I think the biggest issues that we see so far, like macro and picks, yes, that you can get better at that through like having better practice always, but that's also fixable without having the best practice. I mean, like this draft, I don't know what the fuck this draft was. I don't know what the fuck either draft was in this series. And then Payne, like, just really greeted tempo against 100 Thieves at quite a few moments that really hurt them. Like, Teton's already a good player. I don't think mechanically you need to improve nearly as much. Also, I know that Yanya's like kind of memeing, or at least I'm just going to say that he's kind of memeing, but one thing I will say is that it's important to develop your own talent because you're never going to get access to a Masu. Like, if Masu was born in Korea, he's not going to, he's not leaving the region. Your best players are staying. Like, Lucid was never going to come to NA. Those types of players are actually off limits for other regions in off-season because they're going to have offers within their own region where they want to play. So, like, you're signing up for getting automatically worse talent. Now, there is the path where, like, you can try and make the most of it and, like, buff them up. Like, I think that what FlyQuest has done with Quad's great. Like, Quad didn't make it in LCK, but, like, I mean, we saw him competing against the Chovy, like, the person that he was behind. And Quad has gotten a lot better playing in this region for, I mean, whatever's FlyQuest put behind him, like, that's great. But you're signing up to, like, have the best talent that's going to be in LCK CL is not leaving LCK CL. I cannot take what you say seriously, Anya. Don't get to leave LCK CL? Yes, there is that too. Like, Saint is an insanely good player, but again, like, your best players are getting promoted. Lucid is getting promoted to LCK. Masu is getting promoted here, right? Yes, exactly. Yeah, like that's my points, Psycho. So, if you're not developing your own talent, like, you're just signing up for getting, like, what doesn't make it in better leagues. The only chance that you have to, like, actually get a top player that can compete at that level is to try and develop it on your own. I mean, they made the right call. C was lit. Anyway, there wasn't too much to talk about this game. I thought that the draft was really bad. And FlyQuest played fine. Good games. Good games. Good Lilia pick. All right, anyway, that's it for this VoD review. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Follow me everywhere at CubbyXX. Stream these live on Twitch. And yeah, likes, comments, subs help the channel out a lot. That being said, see you guys for the next one. Peace.